Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Chelsea, and welcome to
Nick and Chelsea's Gen Excellent Adventure, where we chronicle 50-something parents of a 6-year-old as we move from the USA to the UAE to the EU.
I still, in my mind, trip over that a little bit because he's not 5.
Yeah.
Still, I'm like, 6? What? Okay. Anyway, you can also follow our journey on our Instagram page, Nick Chels Gen Excellent Adventure, or type in the name of this podcast. If you have any questions or subjects you'd like us to address, go ahead and send them through our Instagram page.
So this is a bit of a milestone episode because this is actually going to be our last episode of season 1 of our podcast.
Guys, we have a season.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. But the reason why we decided this is the juncture to kind of end season 1 is because this is going to be our wrap-up episode of our time in Dubai.
Yeah, and there are, of course, more things we could say about Dubai that we never actually covered because of a weird disruptive year. But I think we're going to end on a good note. And then we're so excited because we are ready for season 2.
Yeah, and that's going to be Belgium.
Belgium!
Yes, so a very good spot for transitioning from one season to another.
Yeah, so hopefully you're interested enough to keep following along. Belgium and adventures around.
Yes. Well, and speaking of Belgium, we do have a quick update on where we stand with our visas. So why don't we give that first before we get started with our last episode?
Yes. Okay. The main thing is, and I did put this on our Instagram page, but it is finally on its way back. In fact, when I last checked 2 hours ago, because believe me, I am checking UPS all the time, it had gone from one facility in Seattle to another facility in Seattle.
What? Wait, what? This is, I hadn't heard this update yet.
Now I'm looking again and it says processing at UPS facility. Okay. So maybe that's the final facility and then it will go out and hopefully be with us tomorrow. I don't know when.
Well, I mean, this is truly getting in under the wire because today is Wednesday.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's Thursday. We need to have this by Thursday if you're going to be able to get a ticket in time to go when you really need to go.
Yes, that's correct. So my school is amazing and said, yes, we can buy the ticket Friday night. So if you get your stuff Thursday, that'll work because of the 9-hour time difference. Like we really can't wait too long. So it needed to come tomorrow and it is coming tomorrow, confirmed. When it made it out of California, I was like, it made it to Portland, like following constantly. So I when I paid for the 2-day air, I was like, it'll be fine because this was like a few weeks ago. Now I'm like, man, I really didn't know I needed to pay for 1-day air. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's on its way. We should have everything soon so that we can legally go. And we did decide that I will go hopefully Sunday or Monday, and then Nick and T will follow a week later.
Yes, so that'll give you a chance to get there, settle in, both, with your job.
Yeah.
And be there for the beginning of your orientation.
Yep.
And then also be there and get the very first thing started on the apartment.
Yes.
Without having us in tow. You'll be in a hotel.
Yeah.
Thanks to the school.
Yes.
So you have a place where you can sleep. Hopefully by the time T and I arrive, there's some place for us to sleep in the apartment.
That is the hope, everyone. Let us pray.
Yes. Every time we think we're past the stress level stuff, there's just new stress level things to think about.
But I do feel a lot less stress knowing I'm going by myself because I think it'll be so much easier to set things up and just kind of, I have to have an appointment with the bank. I need to have the inspection done. And like, how are we going to do that with T in tow? That's really what it is, right? Yeah. So thank you for holding down the fort here and keeping him occupied. And thank you to my school for letting us come on different flights.
Yes. Okay, so that's sort of the update there with our visas. So let's get on to the meat of this particular episode. Let's do our Dubai wrap-up.
Yeah.
And I think the first thing we have to do is we haven't done anything on Dubai since we went back after being in Europe for those 7 weeks. So we had several things that we did during the last couple of months there in Dubai that we never got around to on the blog. So I think we're going to kind of do a quick fire thing on some of the places we went to and the things that we enjoyed.
Yeah, that's great. And I mean, because we have still experienced many, many things in Dubai or around Dubai or in the UAE that we wanted to talk about, and we just didn't have time to do podcasts. So we're going to try to throw it all in one. The first one is another beach. We've been to several beaches in Dubai. And this one was a little farther away from us, but it was called Mercado Beach.
Yes, this was I guess the best way to describe it for me is that it's even with the Burj Khalifa, because we had a perfect view of the Burj Khalifa.
Oh, you mean like on a map, it's
Yes,
even with
so
the Burj
it's-
Khalifa?
As you're going from where we were to the north, where downtown is, this was dead even with middle of downtown.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a little bit to get there.
And Mercado with a T,
Okay.
because you think it's with a D, because it sounds like it.
Okay.
So I'm just saying that for the people. If you want to go look it up, Mercado with a T.
Okay. And well, what was really nice about this one is this is very family-friendly beach.
Oh, it was so nice. It had a huge playground, which was the only place we saw that.
Yeah.
Only beach we saw that.
At least in Dubai.
In Dubai, yeah. And they had playgrounds at every beach in Spain. But in Dubai, this was the only time we saw it.
Yeah. And it was also, you had the lifeguards on duty there.
Yeah.
I just remember a beautiful sunset
Oh
that
my
night.
gosh, the sunset was incredible. And just like all of the beach in Dubai, there's a beautiful boardwalk and walking path and running path and biking path and lots of places to get, like little stands or cafes nearby. The beach life in Dubai is awesome. Truly.
Two other things I remember about that one. Number one, the parking was
Horrible.
very difficult. It's a pretty modest parking lot, and
Yeah.
there's nowhere really to park around in the neighborhood. I remember getting incredibly lucky finding a parking spot in the lot
But
after dropping you guys off.
and after driving around blocks and blocks and blocks.
Yeah.
Then you dropped us off. Then you
Yeah.
met it. Then you came back and got a spot.
Well, what happened is I got stuck in the traffic inside the parking lots, and because of that, somebody happened to pull out at just the time when I was able to pull into their spot.
That was lucky.
So it was very lucky.
Yeah.
The other thing I remember is I think it was basically a brand new beach, right? They just sort of upgraded
Or
it
upgraded
whatever.
it, yeah.
And I think, wasn't there an actual drinking fountain there?
Oh, I think so. And you could fill your water bottle there.
Yeah, exactly.
But then we noticed that at another beach and we're like, have we missed this all these months? So we
I
just
don't
didn't know.
know. The other beach, which was the one we usually went to, I don't think it was there to begin with. I think they installed
I think that was one of the Jumeirah beaches. And I think I think what we're noticing is they're installing more and more water filling stations around Dubai. And that is really needed.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
is. I mean, it's so hard to stay hydrated there in general.
Yeah.
And then to not have access to fresh water.
Yeah.
Unless you brought a whole lot with you. It really can be really challenging.
And it's expensive to constantly buy bottled water. Also environmentally irresponsible to constantly have plastic. But the other thing I think about is all the delivery drivers and the construction workers and all the people who are outside all day long. If not having access to fresh water is just unhealthy. So the delivery drivers know the parks to go to. We'd see them at the pond park just lining up with loads of bottles. Or big, huge bottles. And not just the delivery drivers, taxi drivers, this and that, they keep them somewhere. And because they were looking for where can they fill free water while they're doing their routes. And so I think it's responsible and the right thing of Dubai. So good job, government, for starting to add these in more places. Because we were just like, oh my gosh, fresh water, we can get water. And they seem like they're mostly sponsored by companies, but sometimes you'll see one that just says Dubai government or Dubai municipality or something. Anyway, appreciate it. It's really needed. I'm glad we're getting them.
Okay. Shall I move on to the next thing?
Yes.
So the next thing was, this was a what would you call it?
A beach club.
A beach club. So this was on the Palm Jumeirah. So this was pretty unique for us.
Yeah, we don't
because
usually
we
do
didn't
fancy
spend
things.
a whole lot of time on the Palm, which is a little bit more of an upscale part of Dubai.
And we've been to the mall. We've driven through it a couple times. There's lots of pretty things on the Palm for sure, but it's not really our scene so much. Yeah.
So this was a beach club, and the way it worked is that these beach clubs you can come and, well, I don't know. You know better about how it all works.
Well, I do because we went there.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. We have friends who do what is it called? It's like a
Right.
I can't remember. Anyway, it's this membership where you can go as many times as you want to different beach clubs, and you can just rotate through them. So we know people who've done that, and they pay however many dirhams a month, like a couple thousand. Honestly, they're quite expensive. But then that makes them go like every week to different swim clubs, beach clubs, etc. And these are usually at hotels or nice restaurants. So this place that we went is called Byron Bathers, and it's a beach club and a restaurant. I don't think there's a hotel attached to it, actually. And it was friends of ours who have gone there a few times or several times who like it, and they were going for Mother's Day, and we were like, okay, us too, because we had no plans. And so it was lovely.
Yeah.
Really lovely. I was like, oh, I see why people do this. And there are discount codes if you have Entertainer, and we did have Entertainer, but I forgot to look at it. I kind of forgot I had Entertainer because they gave it to you free during the war.
Right.
So I forgot, but we could have gotten a much better rate on it basically than we actually paid.
Well,
so it goes.
Was there some sort of Mother's Day deal?
No. So the deal is that once you're there for dinner or for a meal, then you can just use the pool and the beach.
Yeah.
There's nothing else you need to do. And we didn't use the beach, but no, not really. But it was nice. But we did use the pool, and you could kind of hop in and out of the restaurant. Go to the pool, go to the restaurant, go to the pool, go to the restaurant. It was a nice experience. I was like, oh, I see why people like this.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah. And, it was...
Lots of kids.
You had to do the valet parking, but we managed to do that and not have to wait too long.
Yeah. And
which was an interesting thing because they clearly were valet parking a long, long way away. Because we were told, like, tell them 20 minutes before you're leaving that you want your car. And if you remember, we left a bag that we needed in the car.
Sorry.
And so I had to go back and get it. And they actually got the car faster than I was expecting. So I didn't have to wait 20 minutes for them to go retrieve the car and get the bag that we had left in the car.
Yeah, like literally needed the bag. Could not live without the bag. Have the beach towels.
Yeah.
But anyway, Byron Bathers is, I believe, a place in Australia. And this is an Australian run place, and they had fish and chips and then also like regular sit down food. And it was good. And then our friends were there too for Mother's Day. So we just hung out together. We kind of ate like across from each other and then chatted with each other, and then the kids get along, and then we all just kind of went in the pool. It was fun.
Yeah.
Had a great time.
It was a good day. We spent a good several hours out there, and I'd say we got our money's worth out of it, even if we didn't use the Entertainer.
Honestly, wish we'd done it another time. Didn't have time. Wish I'd known about it earlier, because I would have happily gone there more to the beach part in particular. Like this kind of private beach on a very, very calm. The Palm is very calm water. Mm-hmm. So I was like, that seems great. I could just swim. But we didn't really know about it. I think most of the Palm is beach clubs, like hotels and whatnot. Right. So when it's in the winter, those get really crowded with tourists. But in the hot weather, they're not as crowded. So people will just go and use the space, and they'll get much better deals on it in the summer. And they wouldn't be using the beach as much, but they'll use the pools. Mm-hmm. And then that pool was quite shaded.
Yes, it was. I mean, that's, I think, why we stayed in the pool and didn't go out on the beach, because it was hot. I mean, we're talking about you're well into May at that point.
Yeah.
It's gotten, high 90s there. And it's much more comfortable in the shaded pool than out there on the sunny beach.
Yes, exactly.
In the middle of the day. Because we were there in the middle of the day. Yeah. One thing I didn't mention about being at Mercado Beach, we were there for the evening. So it was actually tolerable weather. Because you're out there, it's a little cooler. On the water, you get a little breeze.
Yeah.
And then as the sun goes down, it becomes very pleasant.
Yes, absolutely. Loved it. So, Byron Bathers, should you be in Dubai, worth looking up. It's kind of a casual environment, but a nice environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're real chill about kids.
Yes.
Okay, so the next one, this was an experience I really, really enjoyed. And I think we have slightly different opinions.
Yep.
But why don't you talk about it a little bit?
So this was the big art festival, Art Dubai.
Yeah.
And one thing that you definitely see Dubai doing is trying to increase the level of the arts that they have there. Because honestly, it's not at the level that I think we're used to being from Seattle,
Yeah.
which is not as big a city as Dubai. But they are making an effort. And one of the things they do is they have this big art festival every year. This one had been scheduled for earlier in the year, and then because of the war, it didn't happen. So it had been rescheduled for was that in April or was that in May?
It would have been May, because it would have been May.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was down at Souk Madinat.
Yeah.
And
always a fun place to go.
Yes. And so it was, a very large, I mean, what was it? Was it at the hotel, or was it at it was a huge space that they had where they had all the artists set up inside.
It wasn't a hotel. It was like an event space.
Yeah, it was like an event center.
Conference rooms and stuff.
And,
yeah, it was really nice.
There were hundreds of artists that were set up there, and they were multimedia. You had your painters. You had a whole section that was like people doing video arts.
Yeah.
And a lot of the artists were there.
Some
to
textile
talk about
art.
Talk about their art.
Yeah, and you saw galleries with exhibits from all over the world. So you saw some from Tokyo. We saw some from quite a few from Beirut, from Lebanon, and some from. I even saw one from New York. I mean, it was really pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That just like what it draws. I think this has been going on for several years. So as far as their visual art scene, that I think has been stronger. Their performing art scene has not been as strong. But lately, they've been putting lots of news out about the investments they're putting into the performing arts.
And what was cool is it was very well attended the day we went.
Oh, extremely.
Yeah, so,
it was a scene, y'all.
A scene in that there were definitely people who dressed up for this.
I mean, I was like, oh, I am not in the cool crowd. This is full of cool crowd people.
Mm-hmm.
But also it was fun. It was a combo. It was not everybody like that, but it was a scene. Lots of people looking amazing and lots of people knowing people. I think a lot of people go to be seen. 100%.
But there were families there too. There were people with their kids.
Yeah, I could not imagine would never do that.
We didn't
not
take
with
tea.
not with our kid at least.
Yeah, we didn't take tea.
No.
Which actually gave us an opportunity to really take in the art.
Yeah, I would not enjoy taking him to something like that. He's really great with performance, and I enjoy taking him to something like that. But with a visual art thing where we just want to walk around and absorb, I don't think that would be enjoyable for any of us. So, yeah, I liked some of the art for sure. Mm-hmm. And I found we kind of went our separate ways. Like once we got there, it was like, okay, I'll go this way, you go this way. We'll find each other eventually. Mm-hmm. And that worked partly because it was so crowded and we both have different ways of viewing art.
Yeah.
And different types of art we like. And did you find the Japanese and the kind of Asian section?
Well, yes, of course I did.
Of course. Nick goes straight to it.
And that's, my background.
Yes.
And I grew up in a household that had that kind of art in it as well. So I think I come by that pretty naturally.
Yeah.
So I'm drawn to that.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. It was what I would describe maybe a little more Japanese abstract.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that section. But it was, not all of it was really resonating with me. I mean, some of the modern stuff is a little bit, I don't think I'm modern enough to truly appreciate it. But you really found a lot of stuff that you enjoyed.
I did. I really liked looking at. I felt like I saw a lot of Beirut arts, Lebanese art from specifically in Beirut, and we all know what has been happening in Beirut lately, but also prior, and so there was a lot of art about what they've been through.
Yeah.
And so I really found that moving and hard, but good. And I really appreciated it. You might not always aesthetically love it, but I just appreciate that people are making art about such important things and putting it out there for us to look at. We're kind of living adjacent to that, in it but not in it. We're not in it the way they are. And I really wanted to kind of absorb that a little bit. Like, okay, I'm not you. I can't feel what you feel, but thank you for trying to help me understand it. Mm-hmm. So those were the things that were really extra meaningful to me, was finding that art. And then there were some other things. Some of the Lebanese art was there's like your regular paintings, of course, but then there were also some really interesting kind of multimedia types of things and that I really enjoyed too. I also like art that shows different types of people and like different demographics and backgrounds and races and so forth. And there was a fair amount of that because Dubai is very multicultural.
Yep.
And I think that the art represented that.
Yes. Yeah, and I think we really appreciated being able to have an experience like that.
Yes.
Because again, I mean, Dubai is really working on creating its art scene.
Yeah.
And we were able to get a look at how they're doing that.
Yeah.
Knowing that isn't something that is always available.
You know, it reminds me, we both appreciate the arts in general, for sure. And you're more of a visual art appreciator than I am, I think, but I still love it. And I think I'm a school counselor. I always have conversations with students who are interested in the arts, but then they're like, I don't know, you can't go anywhere with that, or my parents don't think that's going to get me a job. And like, that might very well be true, but I always come back to this. What is our world without art? Like, what is it? Art makes the world go round. Like, if there is not expression, what is this world? So it's so important.
So we got to feed our soul a little bit with that.
Yep.
We also got to feed our kind of vacation needs during the Eid holiday.
Yes.
When we went and spent 3 days.
3 days, 2 nights.
In RAK. So RAK is kind of the acronym for Ras Al Khaimah.
Yes.
This is one of the 7 emirates
Yes.
that exist in the UAE. And it is north of Dubai. And this particular resort we went to was right there on the water.
Yeah, it was on Al Marjan Island, which is part of RAK, but it's really all just resorts.
So what was it, hour and a half drive for us?
Yeah, about that.
So
if that.
From South Dubai to RAK, it really wasn't that far away.
Yeah, and if it was maybe 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I will say we were at the DoubleTree Resort, which I had heard from a couple people. Hilton owns DoubleTree now. I'd heard from a couple people that it's amazing for kids, and the price is a lot higher than some of the other places, but ultimately went for it, and I'm not disappointed. Like, that was an amazing place.
Well, the main thing that made it the most amazing was they have this fantastic splash pad for the kids.
Holy cow.
This is like the largest splash pad. I mean, it was basically kind of like going to a water park.
Yes.
It had 4 pretty decent water slides there, had the big buckets that are dumping huge amounts of water on your head, just sprays going everywhere. T just would have spent all day, every day there.
He almost did.
Wow.
I mean, the thing about T is if there is a screen, he will do that and almost nothing else. So we try not to be in places where there are screens. This is related. I see Nick looking at me like, why are you talking about that? Because we looked at the kids club, saw a screen, and we're like, yeah, no.
That's true.
Yeah, we're not doing that. So we basically, I mean, aside from us making him eat and like going other places on the resort, like going into the pool, he basically did stay in that splash pad for 2.5 days.
Well, he made a really good friend.
Yes, and met him there 2 days in a row.
Yeah, and so they just ran around in there together as much as possible.
It was so nice. And met the parents and spent a fair amount of time talking to them. They were lovely. And then there was this other family that was visiting from Dubai, and we kept running into them in the hotel, like when we were getting food or we're hanging out in the lobby. And so then we talked to them a fair amount. But everybody just has kids there. Like, don't go there if you don't have kids. Like, there would be 0 point. In fact, it might be annoying. But there's children everywhere. There's like 7 pools. 1 is adults only, so I guess that would be okay. But the one we were at that was right next to the splash pad was just filled with families for the most part, and it was awesome.
And
lifeguards too.
The other thing is, we had gone to a resort over in Fujairah back in the fall.
Yeah.
Where we had the situation where it was mostly Russian tourists who were there.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really the ability to communicate. T didn't find anybody to kind of pal around with.
Yeah.
This
was a bummer.
Was basically like the population of Dubai there.
Yeah.
That type of a population.
Everybody there wanted to communicate. Mm-hmm. This was a let's play place. And so it felt very different. And because that splash pad was there, it just invited that. So, and the couple people I met were like, oh yeah, we come here regularly. Others, it was their first time. I just went back to Dubai and talked it up to everyone I know. And I did what I do. And I was like, let me influence you into trying to go here. Now, it was amazing. Also, DoubleTree cookies are so good if you don't know that already. So they will be really nice if you keep asking for them every day. They're fine with that.
Well, let's make sure people know. I mean, what are the DoubleTree cookies?
They're like chocolate chip cookies, which is not a big deal, but they also have oats in them and cinnamon. There's like a secret ingredient.
But the important thing is that the hotel gives them to you when you check in.
Yeah. And your parents were saying, oh yeah, you can get cookies at other hotels. I'm like, no, those are like Costco cookies. These are their own special recipe. They're so good, and they keep them in a drawer warm for everybody who's checking in. But by the third day, I was like, hey, could I? And she's like, cookies? I'm like, yeah, thanks.
Yeah. You made sure that you maximized the cookie value. You're really only supposed to get them when you check in.
I know.
We had them every single day we were there.
They're so good.
Yes, so
I took some home. Had so many.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so the splash pad was amazing. Here's the cautionary tale.
Yeah, it was Eid holiday, so it's late May.
Late May, very hot. Oh, and that's the week I got my job offer while we were there. Yeah.
So it was very, very hot.
Yeah.
And so trying to keep yourself hydrated when you're spending all day outside
in the water,
in that heat, and you have a child who's more interested in running around and playing than drinking water. Both T and I ended up having dehydration issues from that.
Yeah, which I am really pretty good about drinking water, and even I felt a little dehydrated. But these two, and especially T, just wouldn't do it. Like, you give him, he'd take a sip. You bring it to him, he'd take a sip, and then he just wanted to run back, play. We need to be a lot more proactive about that, because Nick felt pretty bad, but T got legitimately sick, like, on our way home.
Yeah.
And so, and it was clearly dehydration. We had to spend the next 3 days, like, hydrating him, making him eat, doing all this stuff, like looking up ways to make him hydrate faster than just water. And he also didn't want to have enough electrolytes. They were like, okay, we don't have any Pedialyte, apple juice and water combo. It turns out it works the same. So it was a lot, but it was worth it. We would do it differently next time. We would like make him take breaks for water.
Or go in March.
Definitely go in a better time of year. Yeah. But I think he would listen to us more because he doesn't ever want to go through that again.
Yeah.
Neither does our car.
Okay. So that was RAC. Then we'll move on to what kind of our last big mall that we experienced there in Dubai, and that was the Festival City Mall.
Yeah, and not that you need to hear about another mall, but listen, we have a lot to say about malls. We've been to a lot of malls. Festival City Mall was something I had ruled out because I think we'd gone to the IKEA there like early on, and I didn't like the IKEA there. So then I never really even thought about the rest of it. But we had to meet someone over at Festival City Mall. They invited us to do a thing with their kid. So we brought T over, and they did a thing with their kid. Anyway, 2 different kid things that we did over there. And it turns out it's a beautiful place. But most importantly, the kind of restaurant area that looks over this water feature outside, and you can get this fountain view. So we went over to Din Tai Fung. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
We went over to Din Tai Fung, and then they seated us kind of on this outdoor patio that was still cool, and we're looking at a fountain.
Yep.
It was lovely. But also, do you remember this? When we got to Din Tai Fung, we checked in, or we, said what we wanted, and then they were like, okay, wait for the robot.
Oh.
And then a robot took us to the patio, that covered patio, that wasn't really a patio, and then took us to somebody there to seat us. And I was like, this would have been a lot faster if it was just a person walking us, but okay.
Yeah, that was the first time. Well, I don't know. Actually, it was the second time, because there was also the robot at the airport in Madrid.
Well, and we saw a robot in another mall over near GAA.
Yes, right, over
Just
there
like wandering
in
around.
Mirdif.
Don't know what
It
I was
just,
doing.
yeah, it was not actually serving a purpose.
It was just there.
It was like advertising something.
Yeah.
But just randomly there in the middle of the mall.
Yeah.
Whereas this one here at Din Tai Fung took us to our table.
Took us to the patio, and then a person took us to our table. It was sort of inefficient, but fine. Okay. So also random.
Yeah. So anyway, look out for the robot server in the restaurant near you in the near future.
Yeah.
Once again, the technology taking the jobs away from real people.
Again, yes. I was like, okay. But which is too bad. That part is too bad. But anyway, the mall itself was really lovely. It has a kind of a fancy feel to it. But not overly so. I just liked it. I thought it was very bright inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's right there on the creek.
That's what it's on. It's really
downtown.
close to Dubai Creek Harbor.
And
yeah,
which is like the waterway kind of in Dubai, goes through downtown. It's actually a pretty decent sized body of water.
Yeah, and Dubai Creek Harbor is another area that they've been developing. I don't even know if we've ever talked about that here, but it has a whole lot of other stuff, but there's no really indoor area over there. And it's very residential, and then there's lots of restaurants and a boardwalk kind of thing around the creek. But this was like the mall to that area.
Yeah.
Like slightly farther away, but yeah, it matched that area. I liked it over there.
Okay. So the last thing we probably should do is we have been updating my whole job search throughout the process of our podcast. And let's give you the final thing. I had finally actually started working as a substitute teacher at the school next door to yours.
Yes.
And it had been a situation where I was like, is this ever going to happen? Because I'd gotten accepted, and we were going through all the things I needed to do in order to do the background checks and everything when the war broke out.
Yeah.
And so that was, February was going to kind of start there in March probably.
Yeah.
And then that got wiped out.
Right.
Come back.
Basically, it's May.
Yeah. Restart the process in late April, and going to go get my badge, and then remote learning for another week again.
Yeah.
And that gets us into May. And then by then, it's like, okay, we'll get started now. I did one day in third grade.
It was like as a teacher's aide.
As an aide, as an assistant in a room, where I felt like I was, am I actually helping at all here? Or, I guess I'm playing traffic cop with the kids a little bit, but am I actually, really providing much value?
Yeah.
And then I did a week in the elementary school library.
Yeah.
Which, was less interactive with the kids. And there was interaction with the kids, but less so. And more, shelving books and doing inventory, because it was the end of the school year by that point.
A way more physical job than expected.
I never knew that being a library worker was as, physically demanding as it is.
I know, you were coming home, you're like, I'm going to be sore.
Yeah. But did a week there. And then by that point, we knew that we were going to be leaving.
Yeah.
And needed to do all the things to get ready out of the country and get ready for going to Belgium. And therefore, it's like, I don't think I can commit myself to doing any more work. I need the time to do these things for getting ready for the move. So get in, and 6 days, and that's it. So, I mean, I guess in a sense, I'm glad that I got in and did something.
Yeah. You got a little bit of money.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But more importantly, got in, have done it.
Yeah.
Can tell people I've done it.
Yeah.
And maybe that'll be something that can be useful when it comes to looking for something in Belgium.
Yeah. And my new school, he can sub there if he chooses to. And I'm trying to convince him, just try sub teaching. We'll see. And maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
We don't know what's out there. But there will be more teachers needing subs probably than aides, would be my guess.
Yeah. Well, do you think they even have as many aides there at that school?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea. But I do think that it's a school worth subbing at, based from what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
I say that without having gone there yet.
Yes. Well, we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah. Anyway, It was a bummer for Nick because everything was like coming around right when he needed it to, when the war broke out, and that just was poor timing, obviously, for everything in life. But fresh start.
Yep. All right, so I think that kind of is the last of the things we needed to wrap up from our last couple of months there in Dubai. So that takes us to what's going to end up being an extended version of our regular segment, our excellence and boguses. Because what we're going to do is we're going to go over the things that we will miss and the things we won't miss about our time in Dubai.
Yes. Guys, I don't think you're going to understand how hard it was to limit this list. This was a hard list to limit.
Yes, so this is not a full list. We're going to go over the highlights of the things we feel are the most important to mention in terms of the things that we're going to miss and the things we're not going to miss.
Yeah, because if we were looking at an 8.5 by 11 sheet of lined paper, it would be full probably on 2 sides.
Yeah.
Okay.
And with equal amounts of things in both ledgers.
Yes, totally.
So let's start off with, I guess, what are our excellence, which is the things that we'll miss about Dubai. Aside from the obvious things, like we're going to miss our community that we built there.
Yes, of course. The community is the most important thing.
But we're going to kind of stick to some very Dubai-specific things for this.
Yes. Yep.
So let's have you start with one of your things that you're going to miss.
Okay, and I was just talking about it today. Coffee. Yes, I mean, I like coffee. I've loved coffee for years. But coffee, Arabic coffee, it just hits different. It is so good. It's almost always excellent. Like, it is on occasion I would find a place. I mean, Starbucks is not excellent. It's fine. And I'm not against it. But this is next level excellent. Some of these places. So even IKEA. IKEA's coffee, which if you saw my Instagram story the other day, I was like, man, I'm missing even IKEA coffee. It's very good. They have a whole cafe just for like coffee and like little foods as in addition to their regular restaurant at the IKEAs there. But Home Bakery, our beloved Home Bakery that T and I went to every Saturday, had amazing, fantastic coffee. Lots of places. I didn't try nearly enough. But I will say that coffee, I get like flat whites with caramel, occasional lattes, and then I discovered the pistachio latte.
Thank goodness you only discovered this late in our time there.
Like in the winter, midwinter. And then we left for Spain, and I was like, I'm really missing that pistachio latte I just discovered. Then we came back, and I was like, here they are. They're not everywhere. Not everywhere has them. But here's the thing. I tried one here last week when we went to Alki Beach.
Okay.
It was so disappointing. In fact, did they even make me a pistachio latte? It was supposed to be a house-made syrup. I'm like, did they use the wrong syrup? Because it didn't taste one bit like pistachio. Actually, I'm serious. Like, was this like a cardamom rose or something? Because I don't taste the pistachio in any form. But what they make it with in Dubai is they don't use just a syrup. They have some kind of green pistachio paste that includes fine little pieces of nuts. Mm-hmm. And so it's just amazing.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, that's Dubai chocolate for you right there. It's
exactly.
the chocolate with the pistachio. So,
but the thing is, we have pistachios here. Can't we do that?
Well, I guess you can start a campaign.
I mean, somebody do this. It is so good.
Well, and I'm going to piggyback just a little bit on here. You know, I am not a coffee drinker, so this is not part of me. But what I will throw in there is the karak.
Oh, as you should.
Yes, and they didn't have chai available at just about any place. I mean, it was very hard to find that.
There are a couple places where you're like, oh, they have a chai latte.
Yeah, but the karak, I mean, made up for it.
Yes, and karak is fantastic.
Yes, and it was...
And so cheap.
Yes, exactly. I mean, 1 dirham karak at...
Oh, my gosh.
At
Greenland.
The Greenland.
Yeah.
Did not take advantage of that as much as we should have.
Nope, did not. But still did do it. And I think one of the things that's a bummer about karak is it's not at the coffee places because they want to charge more. And we paid once we got karak at a restaurant and we were like, oh, that was 18 dirhams. Yeah. What that? Give me refills. I'll take the refills.
Exactly. Keep that pot on the table because we are going to finish that pot.
Exactly. I was like, geez. Anyway, coffee for me. Okay. What's your first one?
So my first thing is I'm going to miss the delivery culture of Dubai.
Man.
I mean, You know,
Spoils
when
you.
we first got there, you see all these fleets of the motorcycles with their boxes on the back, and it feels kind of excessive.
Yep.
And then you start taking advantage of it,
Yep.
and it just gets so easy to
Yep.
to kind of get caught up in that.
Yep.
I mean, I've told this story many times, but the night when T was coughing and couldn't get to sleep,
Yep.
and you went online and ordered a humidifier
Yeah. Through noon.
that came 45 minutes later to our door. I mean, that's a convenience that you can get used to really quick.
Yeah. It's
And
true.
whether it's you're looking for groceries to be delivered because you need that, or it's you know, a meal or some sort.
Croissants and lattes.
The time you got baklava so that we
Oh,
could take that as a gift.
that was amazing.
Um,
And it was really good.
Yeah, I mean the ability to get things quickly too. I mean it was like very, very useful.
And the baklava thing, like in particular, I kept looking for all these places to go and get it, and I couldn't figure out where to go. And then I was suddenly like, oh, wait, I bet I can get it delivered. I was like, that is so much easier.
And weren't there a couple times where you like did Kareem quick to get something in like a half hour that
Oh,
you needed for like
A half
in
hour,
a meal
babe.
that you were
10
cooking?
minutes.
That you were like cooking.
Yes.
We needed an ingredient that
Yeah.
was missing, and
No.
instead of going to your neighbor, you just call or just go on your phone app
Yep.
Kareem Quick, and there it is.
Several times. I
Yeah.
mean, it was like, oh, shoot, I don't have this one ingredient. Oh, cream quick. Excellent. They will get me sour cream.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, there's lots of reasons it's amazing. And it's one of the biggest things about delivery is it's so much cheaper
Yeah.
there than it is like here. I don't want to get all that delivered here. I mean, there you can argue about all the reasons for that, but that makes it difficult. I don't use delivery here.
Yeah.
It's too expensive.
And you know, we got our rental cars delivered to us.
That is amazing.
I mean, it
Yeah.
is just a different
Yeah.
level of delivery there
Yeah.
that is incredibly convenient, and
Yeah,
I'm
true.
sure that it's not going to be nearly as convenient there in Belgium.
No. I do need to ask about that. But yes, it is. I do think I will be curious. I do think a city like Belgium, which has a lot of people using public transportation instead of cars, although there are cars there, will have something, hopefully like New York, where you can get everything delivered. Will it be as cheap?
Yeah.
Unlikely.
Okay, so what's your next thing that you're going to miss?
Oh, man. Safety.
Yeah.
I mean, especially as a woman, but in general, the as a woman thing, meaning like I took night walks and didn't really worry about my safety. I still will always have that American like look behind me thing. I will never not have that. But it was nice to be able to just walk outside in the dark and not really have to worry about it. It takes some getting used to, but you know, you can do it for the most part. And then just safety in general, like you can leave, and I don't just mean your physical body safety, but just you don't have to worry about your purse in the car on the front seat. Like you could even leave your door unlocked and not have to worry about it. We did lock the door. Can't habits die hard for us, but yeah, and people leave their doors unlocked. That's like really common.
Yeah, I remember in our apartment building thinking I was going to our floor and got off on the floor like below us, not realizing I was on the wrong floor, walked to where our apartment would be
I don't
and
remember
opened the
this.
door, and just there was a kid there, and I'm like, oh, whoops, sorry.
Wrong floor.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. And then like our friend, one of our friends who had lived in the Middle East before and was accustomed to the not having to lock the door, just jumped right into it, even though she came from the UK. I shouldn't say we never. You would go on a walk and leave the door unlocked for me, or if you had to go run an errand and you didn't think I had a key, you might leave the door unlocked. But in general, if we were going to go out, all of us, for a long period of time, we always locked the door. But most people don't.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they just leave the door open. It's kind of crazy to me, but if we had to, we did, and because you could, and we would never ever do that here.
Yeah.
Right. So that is nice. That's a bummer. People leave their phones on tables for hours and hours and hours. I mean, there are cameras everywhere. There's reasons for this, but it is also just very reassuring to know you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. And I mean, that is one of the things that they talk about Dubai is that's one of the reasons top the reasons people cite for going there.
Yeah, and it's a good reason.
And it's legitimate. I mean, that there really is a sense of not having to worry about certain types of things the way that we are used to, and that being something that really kind of allows your mind to be a little more free.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay, what is your next thing you'll miss?
I just really enjoyed the diversity of cultures that were there in Dubai. It truly is an international place. People are from everywhere. You can be in a mall and just stand there and you will hear 8 different languages within earshot
100%
being spoken. People, dressed in very, very different ways based on where they're coming from. And just getting a chance to really experience and talk with and get to know people from places that we don't really have a lot here in Seattle.
Yeah.
Getting to know people from the Middle East and really talk to them and really understand that people are people. I mean, you think about that and you kind of intellectualize it, but it really hammers it home when you really do actually meet somebody from someplace like Lebanon or Iran
or Syria,
and you really understand that people are people.
Yeah.
And that was something I really appreciated. I really appreciated T having a classroom where he was kind of the only real, well, I won't say real American. There were some other kids in there who had American passports, and there was at least one other kid who was of Indian descent but had grown up in America.
Yeah.
But for the most part, there weren't really any other Americans in there, and his ability to just kind of get along with this class and get to know that kids from other cultures are just kids as well.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be an incredibly valuable thing for him to have for the rest of his life.
100%. I mean, I could not agree more. It's one of the biggest values of living in the Middle East, and specifically in Dubai, because it is 95% expats, and expats means everything. Mm-hmm. It doesn't just mean Americans, which I feel like in America, a lot of people are like, so there's a lot of Americans over there? No, actually, it's not a million Americans. They do exist. It's more Europeans and Indian, especially. That's like the biggest population. That's not the biggest at his school. And Russians, and I mean, it's just, and Ukrainians. Like, there's just so many different populations. We have people from Spain, people from Ireland, and anyway, it really runs the gamut. And I agree with you about specifically Middle East populations. I feel like we're so uninformed unless we know people. Mm-hmm. And that's how you know people. Yeah. That's that proximity takes down prejudice. I would say stereotypes I didn't even know I had. I think that I have worked over the years to try to not have them. And they're still there, so I appreciate it because it just breaks it down for you.
Yeah, and one thing I remember you talking about, from having some conversations with parents of your students, understanding that there are many, many different levels of Islam.
Right, just like in all religions.
Yeah.
We all practice it differently. We interpret things differently. Formalized religion is still, an institution that can be interpreted differently by different people. So, yeah, it's really, I love talking to people. I remember having a conversation about spiritual healing with a Muslim woman that I work with who I think is wonderful. And we kind of had this nice conversation about that. I hadn't really had anybody explain that part of Islam to me. So I really appreciated that too. Just, yeah, so many cool things about living in an extremely multicultural community.
Okay, what's your next one?
All right, guys, not to be shallow, but half-day Fridays are awesome. And it's something I kind of didn't really think about until we got there. And then my friend at the school next door was like, you're going to love half-day Fridays. And I was like, indeed, I do. They're not really half-days. Well, they became more half-days, because midway through the year, they switched earlier. But, yeah, I mean, you can... At first, I was like, what do we do with all this time? And then it was nice weather. Can we go to the beach? Let's go to the beach. And then it was, sometimes we went to the movies, which was so nice. We're like, what are we going to do with tea for all these hours? Let's go to the movies. Because people like the movies in Dubai. They do go to them a lot. We go to the pool sometimes. Sometimes we just have like explore. Let's go find a different place, you know?
Yeah.
Try a new restaurant. It was really, I loved it. I loved Half Day Fridays. I only had 1 year with it, so it's not like I'm going to be absolutely dire sad about it. I'm not going back to having full day Fridays, but it was a really nice bonus.
Yeah. Yeah. It's because you're in education, you're able to take full advantage of that.
Yeah, and I'm not positive. I think we might not have been paid for a full day on Friday. I could be wrong about that, but anyway, even so, I still was happy to have it. Okay, what's your next one?
So, I am going to miss hearing the call to prayer.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, it is just, there's something really, it's serene hearing that Arabic singing come on, whether you can hear it just out on the streets because there's the local mosque, you'll be able to hear it over the speaker system from there. It's in all the malls. Yep. So you'll be wandering down a mall and it'll be time to call for one of the prayers and you'll hear it come over the PA system there. And it was just something that you came to have just be a part of the soundtrack of your experience there in a Muslim country.
Yeah.
And I really got used to it. I remember we were back in Seattle for Christmas and I remember hearing something and I thought, oh, is that the call to prayer?
Yeah.
I can't remember what it actually was, but it was a real good indication that I had gotten used to it and I really was craving hearing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to miss hearing that, knowing that I'm not going to have that everywhere there in Belgium.
That is legitimate. It was something that we didn't expect to even think about. Mm-hmm. And then we both were commenting on it by November. Like, gosh, I really like that. It's so pretty. It's peaceful. It's meditative. Like, I like it. I like kind of knowing everybody who practices Islam is praying at the same time. It's just nice. And then, there's just something about it. And we're not the only ones who feel that way. We've talked to other people who are like, I'm going to miss the call to prayer. I really like the call to prayer. So, yeah, it's something, to be fair, we've never lived right next to a speaker.
But, and there was going to be. I mean,
yeah,
they were building a mosque right next door to our apartment.
Yeah.
And it's basically ready to come online right now.
Yeah.
So maybe we would have a little different opinion of that if we're hearing it at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Right coming into our window.
Exactly. Because we have heard it can be disruptive. But I don't know. I think I would probably be able to block that one out.
I think that our whole household is pretty good sleepers. So I don't think it really would have been a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. What's up for you?
Don't laugh, but cats.
Yay!
You won't laugh. You're just going to agree.
Yeah.
Cats everywhere. The cat park. Obviously, y'all have heard us talk about the cat park. We put it on our Instagram. But also the pond park has everywhere. Every park has cats.
Yeah.
Cats around the beach. Cats around the pond park. Cats in front of the Courtyard Playhouse where you did improv classes.
All right. Or in front of the mall where Spinny's is. They had like a house cat that would just be lying out there in front of the sliding glass doors.
Yeah, I mean, just cats. We love the cats everywhere. I didn't want to touch them with my hands because you don't know. These are street cats. But they'd just rub up against you. People feed them and take care of them. There's kind of this cultural care around cats. Mm-hmm. And I love that part of Dubai.
Well, when we came back from being in Europe, at the pond park, they had installed a cat watering and feeding station that, it had running water there and it dispersed food I don't know if they could press a button or if it just came out at certain times.
We will have to post the video you got of that when we upload this.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where you could they had a QR code so you could donate for the upkeep of that.
I did too. Yeah, we both donated.
I donated in T's name. So because you were supposed to put a name in for it and I put T's name in there.
Yeah, I think we both donated at different times and Dubai municipality is taking care of that. And I think that's so nice. I mean, I'm sure it's partly just to do the right thing and partly maybe so that so many people don't feed them. But I don't know. I don't know why it happened, but I'm just glad it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what is your last? This is our last of the. Oh no, not quite last. What is your next Oh, it's your last.
Yes.
What's your last, what you're going to miss?
I'm going to miss the buildings.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't necessarily know that I was going to do this, but, I'm going to miss having the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, just right there.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss the Burj Al Arab, which was right outside our window. I mean, we could actually see both of these buildings from our window. It was very hard to see the Burj Khalifa because it was a long way away and it was behind this other building, so you could only see the little top of it. And you needed to have a pretty clear day to be able to see that.
That was the main thing, is how clear it was, would block downtown a lot.
But even, you have these pockets of buildings, of tall buildings everywhere, and everyone in Dubai is trying to make their building unique. And so it's a great variety of architecture. There's some that make no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
And some that are not necessarily the most aesthetically pleasing, but they're trying. And I compare it to when we came back to Seattle, and I'm driving down I-5 coming into downtown from the north. And the first thing you see is all the development that's happened in South Lake Union,
which is where Google's headquartered, and or not headquartered.
It's kind of the tech center of the city of Seattle.
Yeah.
And what you have is this, just every building is exactly the same. They're all the same color. They're all the same height. They all kind of have the same shape, and it's become just this one sort of mass of just buildings that looks like one big block.
Yeah.
And the Seattle skyline to me is not nearly as interesting anymore because this big block is just kind of this
blocking it.
Yeah, and in Dubai, that is not what you get at all.
That's true.
Everything is trying to be grand. Everything is trying to one up the building next to it.
Yeah.
And because of that, you got this great variety that gives you something visual to really take in while you're like just out driving on the highway.
Yeah. I do not love these ultra modern buildings as much as you do. I do really like the Burj Al Arab and how it's styled, kind of like a boat. And I really love ocean views, as I talk about a lot. I love water. So seeing the water from our window with the Burj Al Arab right next to it, I love. The Burj Khalifa is interesting and it's cool and I like to see it. And I agree with you. I think it's more interesting than our current skyline here in Seattle. I just love old stuff. I love seeing old things. So I missed that in Dubai. That just doesn't really exist anywhere.
Okay, so let's have you bring us home with what's the last thing we're going to highlight here and the things we're going to miss from Dubai.
Okay, so this is really a wistful one. There were so many places that we had access to in Dubai that we now will not. Like easy access. Some of it is just like the other places in the UAE, like Rak and Abu Dhabi and Fujairah, things like that. But also the places that we wanted to go. Oh, and Oman, which was so close to the UAE, which we actually did see. The places that we really wanted to go that we didn't get to, and we plan to over at least 2 to 3 years: India, Sri Lanka, and Jordan. Those are the 3 I think of specifically. And we also talked about Turkey, but that's still accessible to us.
Right, yeah. I don't know that Turkey is all that different in terms of time to get there from Belgium.
I think it's actually easier
than it would have been from Dubai.
Yeah. But those places, India, Sri Lanka, and Jordan, we had talked about, like, we want to visit these places. And I'm really sad we didn't get to do it. And also even, like, we were supposed to go to Taiwan. We didn't get to do that trip. And we ended up with an amazing experience that led us to Belgium. Like, I'm not like, oh, poor us. But just like, oh, we didn't get to do those things that we wanted to do. That would have been a lot cheaper from Dubai than they will be from anywhere else that we're going to live.
Yeah. So I get that finishes up what we would call our excellence section.
Yes.
And now I guess we got to move on to our bogus section, or what are the things that we are not going to miss about Dubai?
Yeah. Sorry, Dubai. We love you. And
yes. I mean, the obvious one, of course, is we're not going to miss the war.
Oh man, not at all.
Yeah.
I think if you've lived through that in any form, again, let's be clear. We know we're not in Beirut. We weren't in Palestine. We're not dealing with those levels. But if you've lived through any kind of missiles or alerts around those kind of things, it hits different now.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still reading the news about Dubai, and we care a lot what's happening in the Middle East. We should have cared before we left. We care more now, or before we got there. We care more now. So yes, we will not miss the war.
Yeah. Okay, but let's move on to the actual things. Let's get into what is your first thing.
Okay, well, it's kind of related, but I will not miss having to moderate myself and what I say so much about local and global issues, and even like things going on at work. I just felt like you always had to be so careful all of the time. Specifically me, I like to talk, and I have opinions I like to share. But even just like questions sometimes, I didn't feel like I could even ask questions sometimes. Like, oh, is that off? I'm not allowed to say that? What? So that really was hard for me.
I remember before we ever left.
Yeah.
Asking you, hey, do you think you're actually going to be able to kind of rein yourself in the way you're going to kind of need to here in the UAE? And you were like, oh, it's no problem.
I looked at Nick and rolled my eyes like, come on, give me some credit. And then I was like, no, he was right. That was very hard. I think I did it. I didn't get arrested, so. But it was hard. I mean, it is really, I think this is happening in the US too now. Like, you can't say what you want depending on who you are, and where, people are being arrested for all sorts of crazy things now. But it's just like, but we didn't grow up that way. So it was hard for me to switch to this. You can't communicate freely, including over WhatsApp or however you're talking to people, or through your video calls, through your texts, even if it's just to your family, your close family. So you still can't be completely transparent. So that was really hard for me. Yeah. Okay. What's your first one?
Well, and this is a pretty obvious one, but it was a challenge dealing with the heat.
Yeah.
It was the worst when we first got there. I mean, this was something that became less of a problem as time went on, as you start to acclimate, and
the weather gets better.
And but the heat was a challenge to deal with, and most specifically about this is that it limits your outdoor time, and that's an issue for us, but it's a bigger issue for T.
Oh, huge.
And it was really a challenge with him not being able to get as much outdoor time as he was used to. I mean, we're talking about a kid who came from being in outdoor preschool.
Yeah.
And then he comes straight to a place where you couldn't even go outside for recess.
Yeah.
For parts of the school year.
Yeah, it was really, really hard not taking him out, and expensive. If you want to take him somewhere inside, you have to pay for it unless you go to IKEA. Thank you, IKEA. But it's just really a struggle. And so we're very happy to be going to a country where we can do that year round.
I will say though, I didn't think I was going to take to the sunshine quite the way I did.
Yeah.
And I do think I'm going to miss having sunshine all the time.
Yeah.
Coming from Seattle, you don't think that that's something that you're going to need.
Especially you, because you've really lived here your whole life.
And I don't necessarily think I'm going to need that, but I do think that's something that I'll miss a little bit.
Yeah, I think you are a sun person 100%. And I used to love sun as much as you do, and now I just get so hot. I get hot in a way I didn't used to, but I still do enjoy it, and I do think it does help your mood 100%. So I don't disagree with that.
Okay, so what's up next for you?
Same lines is the air quality.
Yeah.
Ironically, I'm saying that while we are stuck inside a lot right now because of wildfire smoke. We're still going out a little because we have to get tea out. But the air quality was really hard for me there. I follow IQ Air for, I think, probably the most accurate air quality because it's people who put up.
They go out and take the samples.
Yeah, they have it on their balconies or whatever, and they do it themselves. Yeah, I kind of like that. It's human powered, but and it's a private enterprise, so there are public ones, but you can't get a public accurate reading in Dubai. So these felt more accurate for Dubai. But it never got above moderate even in the winter. So it was mostly unhealthy for sensitive groups or unhealthy in the winter. It was moderate. And I just was like missing that green. Where's the green healthy one? I just want a healthy day. So the air quality bugged me. And I felt like sometimes teas, cause then you have like, you have constant air conditioning, and you have to have that running a lot, and then you have to clean those filters all the time, and you have air purifiers to make up for that. It's like kind of a constant air game. And I felt like T was congested a lot, and that might have had something to do with it. I don't know, but because he does seem to be doing better now. Mm-hmm. Anyway, air quality, blah.
Well, and to be, it's a lot of that's because it's in the desert.
Yes.
Yeah,
some of it's just sand.
It's not like the wildfire. Like when we're dealing with the smoke right now, and it has a reminiscence to Dubai because of the haze.
Yeah.
But the smell is very different.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We're not
smoke that's causing it there. I mean, there is, obviously in an industrial city where there's a lot of building going on, you're going to have some of that aspect to it. But a lot of it is from the sand.
Well, the sand, but I also think the pollution from cars is huge, and it's such an industrial. It's still so gas reliant, and everywhere. Not just on the road, but like there's not as much solar as one would think for such a hot and sunny country. They are building it; it's coming, but it's not everywhere. Like I would think that. Like you wandered around Spain, of solar. Germany, solar, and I was like, "Where's the solar?" So yeah. Okay, the end. Okay, you're next.
So I will not miss the next door construction that we had at our apartment.
Oh, man. I
mean, I was doing the videos every month to show exactly what kind of progress it was making. And it was, a loud experience because they get started at 6:30 in the morning.
Oh, my gosh.
And there was a stretch there where it was going well into the night.
Yeah.
Something finally happened that stopped it at 10. So we weren't having to deal with it like way past bedtime anymore. But having that there was a loud thing to deal with. It was a little odd having, that crane right outside of T's bedroom window.
That was terrible.
That was right there. I mean, it provides a little bit of interesting stuff to watch, but it still does feel a little bit invasive.
Yeah, head over to our Instagram updates for Nick's former updates on the construction, because he put a lot of them up there. Of course, now we're just curious what's going to happen.
But, that's just kind of a microcosm of the whole thing, though. I mean, Dubai is the land of cranes. Yeah. And that is the first thing that I really noticed when we got there, is just how many cranes there were everywhere.
Yeah.
And it feels, I understand what's going on. I mean, it's things being built, but it feels overwhelming.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, there's so much building going on. Is everything going to be okay in terms of, growing so fast? And is this going to make sense to have, this much more high rises and so forth? And some of these buildings that you can't tell if they're going up or coming down. They almost look like ruins.
They do. Like when we first moved there, I was like, is that building being torn down? It must be. And then you find out, no, they're just still building it. It's just like kind of the way it looks, maybe the way they build. I don't know if that's bad or good. Like I have no idea. It's just so interesting. Yeah, it looks kind of like, what's the word? Apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're watching a movie that takes place.
It's like watching Mad Max. Or something like
exactly. That. Exactly. Like literally in the desert. Yeah, it's really interesting, but then they build it, and then it looks fine, and they get built fast, but not so fast, Yeah. So yeah, it's really like disconcerting.
So what is your next thing on your list?
Okay, doing everything over apps. Mm-hmm. I haven't finished it all yet, but I have been deleting my apps. I had so many, and I was like, I don't want all these. Yeah, delete is doing everything over apps, including even WhatsApp. Like so much business gets done over WhatsApp, and I really struggle with that because it is just not secure.
No, why are we sending all our, vital documents?
Documents like passports
over WhatsApp. I mean, it does feel like you're putting your very important personal information in a space that is going to be accessed by people who
don't care,
who are not necessarily doing the right things with it. So
No, and I don't trust Meta that way. I know I'm using Meta because content creation is hard to do without it, but I don't trust Meta with my security. And also, we know that it's not really secure. I mean, we know that in Dubai they are still kind of filtering things a little bit. I mean, nobody stopped my WhatsApp messages. It's not like I had anything crazy going on. But if that's happening, other people can access it too. So, yeah, it scares me.
Well, the other thing about the apps, what's really crazy to me is I don't think we ever even got to the level of the apps that they told you to in the documentation you got before ever even going.
Yeah,
I mean, there were like dozens of apps they said you should download before you even got to the UAE.
That's right. And some I never touched. And then I had a bunch I didn't use very often. Like I was not good at deal grabbing. Mm-hmm. People were always, for some of our friends were just looking at those all the time for deals. I only go out to restaurants where I get a deal. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't think that way. It's so hard for me to think that way. So I got, and then if you don't get a deal, you're paying so much. So it is really like doing everything over apps is annoying to me. So I'm glad to be done with it. But also you're glad you have them for some things. Mm-hmm. So, and I don't know how we would have like communicated with our family without WhatsApp. So yeah, I don't like that you do all your business that way. And also it's kind of convenient. Okay. Your next one.
I will not miss Dubai birthday parties. Oh my goodness. I mean, it was just so over the top. I mean, we've talked about this in the podcast previously, but what we experienced were these indoor play areas that you'd already talked about them being expensive. Yeah. They will offer these birthday packages, and I've looked at these, and you're talking about the low end is like 169 dirhams per kid. Yeah. And you're inviting the entire class to that, but you're in these places that are just sensory overload locations. Yeah. Where the kids are basically allowed to run wild and get as jacked up as possible. And then you go into the area for the food, and we're used to birthdays. No need to bring gifts. Yeah. No, every birthday is gift. Yeah. And these giant cakes, and you got just loud and you got
the loudness it's so over the sensory overload. It's just sensory overload.
And then, I'm a parent who I'm kind of following along if it is appropriate to follow along just to see what's happening and to keep an eye on things. And, it's like me and 12 nannies doing that. It felt quite awkward.
Because all the other parents, they bring their nannies too. And so all the parents are socializing, and then the nannies are doing the watching. It's very strange, very Dubai. Strange to us, but very Dubai. But not our scene. Didn't like that scene.
And was very happy that our first and really only birthday party that we've had here since we've been back in Seattle was at a park.
Oh, and a park that we used to have our kid's birthday at. Yeah. And it was hilarious because when we were leaving, T goes, "Do you have any goodie bags?" She's like, "Nope. You did this activity." And I was like, "Yes, no goodie bags. Thank you." I hate goodie bags.
Yeah, we brought home a lot of junk from these birthday parties.
Oh man, he did get a really good water bottle out of it.
That was the best thing that happened from all those birthday parties.
It was a really good one. Still using it.
Not appreciating the constant questions of when can we go back to the arcade again.
Ugh. I can't stand it. I will appreciate the most fancy one that we went to was something that I didn't love that party because the people were so nice, but I just didn't love that kind of party. But the food for adults was amazing. I was like, what are these amazing appetizers? This is so good.
Yeah. I guess if we just approached the birthday parties a little differently, maybe we wouldn't be having this as something we won't miss.
Yeah. I won't miss it.
But it was just so different from what we were used to experiencing. And I think it was in a way that we're happy with the way that we had done things previously.
Yes, we really like how we do it in Seattle, and I think it'll be a lot more chill in Belgium, from what I understand. It certainly is in Germany, according to our family. I will also just comment, Nick has to do the birthday parties one, because Nick, thank you, went to most of the birthday parties. I just went to a handful, and partly because I just didn't want to be there when some of those parents have kids in high school. So
yeah,
I was like, no, thank you. Thanks for going. I think they also were overwhelming for T. Like, he made it work, but he was always nervous to go. They were always new places. He was always nervous to go. He didn't always know where he was in the social hierarchy, though we know that people like him, so overall it was fine. I've seen when he got there, people would yell out his name excitedly, so then he was fine. But I do think he's fine with sensory things generally, but I do think he would be like, what do I do? There's so many things. And then he didn't always fit in exactly where he knew what he knew how to do. Yeah, I was like, can we just have a chill playground, please?
Yeah. All right, so I think we have one more. Bring us home.
Okay, so not having readily available free drinking water, which I realized I said above as a positive, is starting to happen more. But yeah, just not having it everywhere. That was really hard.
Well, it isn't just everywhere. I mean, it's not being able to drink the tap water in your home.
Yeah. And we are going, I know, so you could drink the tap water in Germany, and we've checked, and you can drink the tap water in Belgium. I do know that in Europe, it's a conversation and a debate. Should you bring your own water to restaurants? Because they still don't give you free tap water at restaurants. And we've experienced that. And it's so annoying. I'm like, but your tap water is good. Can we just have the free water? They still want you to buy the bottles. And I'm like, it's so much waste buying bottles of water.
It was really, I didn't understand why we were the only people in Dubai who had water bottles that we brought into the restaurants.
Thankfully, nobody got mad.
No, they didn't. But I mean, I don't remember ever seeing anyone else ever with that.
Except Rashi and family, because I told them we did, so they started doing that. They came from the U.S. too.
Yeah.
From here, really. So yeah, it was. I don't know why people didn't do that either. I'm like, if you have water at home, bring it. I already pay for that delivery.
Yeah.
So I don't want to pay for a water bottle on the table.
Yeah.
I mean, occasionally we wouldn't have enough, or we would stay longer and we'd need to buy some too. But, yeah, I want free drinking water.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
That might be something that we'll just have to wait for again. I mean, we've enjoyed it while we've been here in Seattle.
All the free water.
We'll see if that's something that carries over, or if it is also going to be something that is a bogus there in Belgium.
I think it is a bogus. I've been reading about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't want it to be. I don't want to be an annoying American, but I also want to be like, can we not? Why are we accepting all these plastic bottles? Mm-hmm. We know better.
Okay, so that's all our things that we're not going to miss, except we've got one bonus subject that we're not sure exactly where this belongs.
Yeah.
So here's my question to you. The mall thing.
Yeah.
How do you feel about everything being a mall in Dubai? Is that something you're going to miss? Is it something you're not going to miss? What do you think?
I think it's complicated, and I have both. I will not miss having everything in a mall. But we grew up going to malls, right?
We're Gen Xers.
We are Gen Xers. Yeah, we had malls. Malls have kind of died in a lot of the U.S. or, become less important. Some have left. But they're so they're filled with energy, I would say.
Yeah, it's hopping.
It's hopping, yeah. If you were an extrovert and you need to get a dose of energy, even without talking to anybody, you could probably get that at a mall. So I think I like that. And because of the heat, you have to do it. You have to have things inside. And malls are beautiful. On the other hand, I don't want to be shopping all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be, or I want to pop into a cute store. Everything in malls is not a cute store. They're all chains. Mm-hmm. There's chains we don't have here. That's cool. Restaurants are a combo, but the stores themselves, they're basically all chains. So I don't like that. I don't feel like I could use some more things that are cute and not chains. But it's Dubai. It's so hot. I get why they exist.
The you're talking about the wanting something that's cute or small or independent.
Yeah.
And the restaurants is the same thing. I mean, most of the restaurants are also inside the malls.
Yeah.
And so you get the same feel with that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it just isn't quite the same experience when getting to your restaurant isn't going to the front door. It's going in the mall and, just finding the storefront in the mall that is the restaurant.
Yeah.
And you're sitting outside the restaurant. You have outdoor seating in the mall concourse.
I know, it's funny.
So it's like, what? I guess we're watching, or people watching while we're sitting here having a meal.
Yeah, I will say walking through Dubai Hills Mall, which we have talked a lot about. Dubai Hills Mall had lots of that seating that you're talking about, kind of like center of the hallway is where they're seated for some of these restaurants. And they always had people in them, and there's some really great coffee places, and people really take their coffee culture seriously in Dubai. And so they'll go and just sit and drink coffee and have conversation for a couple hours. It's nice. And I will say seeing all that made me just want to do it. So it was influential in that way. Oh, that really good chocolate place was in there. Mm-hmm. That's so good.
Well, and you bring up an important point. Not all malls are created equal in Dubai.
Right.
There are, when you're talking about Dubai Mall or you're talking about Mall of the Emirates, these are tourist attractions.
Yes.
They are not there really for the local population.
Yeah.
They're just so grand. They have these big, huge things. Like in Dubai Mall, you have the fountains and you have the ice rink and you have those type of things. And in Mall of the Emirates... Oh,
and it's where Burj Khalifa entrance is.
In Mall of the Emirates, you have, of course, the ski hill there.
Yeah. But you know what? Mall of the Emirates, I was really overwhelmed by it. And I still am. The last couple of months, I started looking at it more carefully. And I was like, this is a beautiful mall. Like, if you look up... Mm-hmm. It almost has Grand Central Station vibes.
Yeah.
It's very pretty.
Which is so different than looking at it from the outside.
Yeah, it's not pretty at all.
Which is just this big, slanted concrete roof.
Where the ski hill is.
Also, which we could see from our window.
Yes, true.
So it really was interesting, the contrast there. And like, hey, how's it look so nice inside?
Yeah. And,
you have the shapes and domes and windows and everything. It's like, there's no sign of that on the outside.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah. But, and then we had our little malls like the Galleria, which is where Home Bakery was. Home Bakery is a chain in Dubai, but they had one in Galleria, and the Galleria had like Home Bakery and a couple other restaurants like Five Guys, Tasha's, just some random, Joe and the Juice is in there. And then they didn't really have a lot of stores, like a Mumuso or something, maybe. Oh, I think so, yes. And then that's where Adventure Zone was. So you have those kind of malls. They're more like utilitarian. Mm-hmm. And that was the one I liked going to the most because it was easy to navigate. But there wasn't a lot in there. If I needed a lot of stuff, I couldn't go there. And then I'm also thinking about like there's places where you can go to storefronts and stuff that aren't in malls. Like over by where we would where I would get my nails done.
Yeah, right.
There's like a lot of storefronts over there. We just didn't really take the time to get to know that area as much because it's so hot. And you did kind of want to be in a mall when it was hot.
Well, and I think that if we had March,
yes, we would have explored more.
There would have been a lot more of that because we didn't even know what to do or where to go or how to get to these places, walking wise until that particular point in time.
Yeah.
And so I think we missed out on what would have been prime, exploring that kind of part of our neighborhood.
Right. Well, it was still cool enough to do. And by the time we came back, it really wasn't.
Yeah.
So it was a bummer.
So I think that it's safe to say that for both of us, the mall thing gets some thumbs up, some thumbs down.
Yes, that's accurate.
And, but, I guess that's sort of an appropriate way to end this particular segment. Things in Dubai, there's some things we're really going to miss and some things we aren't.
Yep. And that you can probably say that about anywhere. Hopefully people enjoyed listening to our interpretation.
Yeah. So I guess that includes season 1 of Nick and Chelsea's Gen Excellent Adventure.
Yep.
How do you feel about that?
fairly. I have mixed feelings. I feel hopeful, but I feel like this is a poignant moment.
Yeah.
Like, wow, Dubai really brought us new ideas and thoughts and adventures, and we didn't want to leave it this soon. But I like change, that, and I'm kind of excited for somewhere new that probably matches our values a little better.
But, this is something that I don't know about you. I never, ever thought I would experience this.
No, certainly this was not on my list.
Yeah, living in Dubai was never something that was ever on the radar.
Yeah.
And doing this has been such a, expanding the mind sort of thing.
Our handyman was over here because he's also my mom's handyman today. And we're at my mom's house right now. And I think you were with T when he said this, but he said, what you guys are doing is amazing for your child. Mm. He basically said that. And I was like, thank you for saying that. That's he might not have used those words, but that's what he said. And I was so thankful that somebody saw that, because that is part of why we're doing this.
Yeah.
And it's a large part of why we're doing this is to give T these experiences. And I hope that we can go back and visit Dubai.
Yeah.
Because I think keeping that connection to the Middle East, just to keep him reminded about it, and also to keep that comfort level, because just without exposure you build other ideas. So I hope we can keep visiting.
Yes, whether there are things that we're not going to miss, we really appreciate our time in Dubai.
Yes.
And it really was a life-altering experience, I think, for all of us.
Yes, absolutely.
And I believe that our next adventure is also going to be life-altering.
Yeah.
So I think the next time you hear from us, it's going to be from Brussels.
Yes, we will still not have our mics. They'll still be probably on their way to us.
Well, I mean, it depends on how long it takes before we're settled enough to have the time to go ahead and record our first Brussels episode.
Maybe it'll be another month or so. But yes, we will be in Brussels. We're going to start season 2.
Yeah, so anyway, in the meantime, remember you can follow us on Instagram, Nick Chels Gen Excellent Adventure. I think you'll probably be getting more updates from there between now and episode 1 than we'll have with the podcast.
I do updates there sporadically, at least a couple times a week, sometimes every day, but not always.
Mm-hmm. And I guess until then, be excellent to each other.
Have a great week, everyone.